Hey everyone, it's Victoria and I'm in New York, and while I love it and everything, I really do want to make the comparisons between living in New York and living in Hawaii. And I have to say, I like Hawaii more. Hawaii to me is home right now. I know I'm from here and I appreciate everything that I've learned from New York and growing up in a beautiful place, and I absolutely adore it. I really do. I make love letters to New York all the time, but something about Hawaii that's brought me back home. I just feel very, very close to nature. I really all want to do is swim with the turtles, and I just really want to enjoy my life there, and I keep thinking about it, so I know for sure that's where I want to be. I appreciate the fact that I can come back here and visit, and I love that, but my heart is really in Hawaii. If you're on vacation anywhere, ask yourself, do you want to leave? If you want to leave, then you know it wasn't the place for you. But if you really have it in your heart to want to stay, then consider it your home. Consider it a place where you can visit as your home, even like if you can go for longer periods of time, eventually maybe move there. A lot of people don't listen to their heart. They don't listen and they don't follow their heart. And I was like that for years. Culture can hold you back, and family can hold you back. And what I'm saying is, live your best life, because nobody's really going to live it for you. The attachments and things like that back where you are don't necessarily add up to what your life could be. So you have like these attachments here, but you have your heart is here. The people that are attached to you, whether or not they know it, are holding you back, and they can always visit you here where your heart is. That's what I'm considering more and more. And yes, I want to see my friends and family, and maybe they can't all come and things like that, but you know what? It is what it is. There's FaceTime now, there's social media, there's video chats, there's so many ways to get in touch with somebody. It's almost as if these things were made for me, because I was able to move and still keep in touch. My mother lives in Israel, so to live in New York for me, my mom is really my best person in my life, and if she's in Israel and I don't want to live in Israel, well, I'm not going to just live in New York and be in a cold winter and shovel snow because, my roots are here. It just doesn't make sense. Some people love New York as their home. They want it, they've come from somewhere else and they come here to New York and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm so glad I could be here. I think that it's great. I think it's great you can identify with it. And what I'm saying is to identify with where you feel like your heart is. And don't let anybody drag you down. If you have a sick parent that you're taking care of, maybe they can come with you. Maybe the other siblings can allow that to happen. Or maybe you could hire somebody that's really good and take care of them. I don't know what your story is. I don't know what holds people back. I do know that if my mother was still in New York, it would be much harder for me to move. But like I said, she's in Israel and I'm not moving there. So, everybody has their own life, everybody has their own agenda, and to live it for somebody else would be almost a sin. Now, I had to leave Jewish culture. There's very little in Hawaii, even Middle Eastern Jewish culture, which is very, very rare in Hawaii. And I have to make my own and bring my kids back here, and they could move wherever they want to as well. I grew up in a community where everybody lives near each other and nobody really moves. And I appreciate that and everything, but that wasn't in my bag of tricks, that wasn't my jam. So I wasn't going to just stay in Brooklyn, New York, because that's what everybody else was doing. Although that's what I thought. This is what I thought it was going to happen, and I was actually panicking about it as a child. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to be born and die here? That's not cool. Like, I wanted to get out. So I think I've mentioned this before in other videos. If you're on the fence about moving, I hope this inspires you to go with what your heart is, where your heart is, or maybe visit a place for 6 months out of the year. Like a lot of people go to Florida to get warm, and then they come back to New York. They still have that East Coast feel, and they don't feel like they're leaving it too quickly. And it's kind of baby steps. But if you were to go to a place that you really resonated with, like I know somebody that moved to Thailand from Canada. Maybe you know of him. His name is Ted Carr. I mean, some people just give up whatever they have because they fell in love with something else. Coming back here to me is like coming back to an old boyfriend. It's like, you know what, I'm glad I didn't marry you. You know, the commitment is too strong. But I'm so glad that I was able to get to another place and see the difference. So if you're going on vacation and you really have this overwhelming feeling of joy and it makes you happy, maybe you could find work there, maybe you could work online, maybe you could find a new career altogether, maybe you could just change your life completely. You know, I feel like we have different levels in our lives and different things that make us, you know, stronger, and they give us clarity in different ways, and that's what Hawaii's done to me. Every trip I've ever taken has done that, but Hawaii really resonated with me. And maybe there are lessons that you need to learn, and maybe there are things that you're not done with, and it's just another adventure in your life. And you can look back on anything, and you can always come back to the place that you grew up in. It's not going anywhere. New York is not going anywhere anytime soon, we hope. But this is, you know, where my roots are, but it's not my home now. And it's great to visit, and I'm really, really grateful to be here when I'm here. When I'm here, I'm grateful to be here, but I keep thinking about Hawaii like it's this new boyfriend, and it's just a really good place to be, and it's good to be aware of it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way I do, where they just don't act on it, or they don't allow themselves, and they suppress that feeling, and they kind of dig it back and back because of all the circumstances in their lives. Oh, I went to law school. Oh, I've done too much here already. I'm too attached, or I'm too scared to move on. Yes, easier for me because I went with a spouse. It's harder for me because I had to take 3 kids and pull them out of their New York state of mind into Hawaii, which is not an easy thing to do. So no real excuses for you. I did it with kids. You could probably do it on your own. I'm pretty sure of it, or with one other person. But if you have kids, I'm sure if you show them enough of why you love something, they might be in love with it too. It took my kids a little bit of time. It took them about 1.5 years to 2 years to fall in love with Hawaii. And so much so that my 13-year-old had to go back when she got here. She was like, I need to go back. So we sent her back. And yes, she's taken care of. So that's my little video for today. I hope this helps you. I hope it helps you get more on track with who you are, and not to be completely bogged down from anybody else or anything else if you can. And maybe you can change it. Maybe you can take less of a job somewhere else. Maybe you could, I don't know, I'm just repetitive at this point. Maybe just go down the list of what's important to you. To me, Hawaii is more important, and I'll do whatever it takes to stay there. I mean, I really, really love it there. And I see the difference in the things that I wanted and needed on Madison Avenue and the material things, and I could see why people get caught up in it and get more needy. But when I'm in Hawaii, I'm less of that, and it feels good. It feels really good, and I watch it in my friends and family from far, and I see that things could get a little bit more gossipy and more dramatic because there's very little that maybe they're, you know, looking forward to because they're not in nature, and especially in the wintertime when they're really cold and they're indoors and all they can do is talk on the phone. And you never know. You never know. I think that the cold definitely makes people more bitter, and having to stay indoors. I feel like I dodged a bullet the last 2 years in New York were freezing and really cold. And I really could not handle it before that when it wasn't as cold. So I can only imagine. My hat's off to you if you can do it. I think that it's great. It's a great city. It's amazing in the spring, fall, and the summer. Amazing. Still not my jam. Like, I really like to be in Hawaii. So that's my thing. That's my little observations. I don't know, whatever that's worth to you. I don't know, but I just hope it helps in some way. You're on the fence. Okay, so some of my videos have been repetitive, but maybe it's because I'm not done expressing it, and maybe there's something else you need to hear. So that's that. Talk to you soon. Bye.